What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and how are you feeling? You ready to chat it up? Because the moon's in Gemini. I love when the moon's in Gemini. That's when then I get like extra excuse to just like really lean into that energy and just I have my moon in Gemini. So then I get to just chat it up. So got a lot of words for you today. We're going to be exchanging. But before we get into that, if you're new to this channel, I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. And know that when you have come across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. And this is also a place for you if you have Cancer in your placement. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mercury, wherever. This is for you. And I do tarot card spreads based on our lovely ruler here, the good old moon. And I talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going void of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so y'all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, I'm going through a lunar return right now. It'll be fantastic. But depending on when you're watching this, yes, happy Sunday. Sunday, actually, I'm going to shuffle your cards here while I'm talking. But the sun is associated with Sundays. And this is a great day to, I feel, check in with your vitality to see how your energy levels have been going. This would be great too if you, I find, and play around with this. If you happen to have like a doctor's appointment or something that you want to schedule, see if you can maybe schedule it around a sun hour. That's something to kind of play around with. But these are things, I feel like Sunday is a day to just do things to help you get to fill up your vitality, to do things that really just get you shining bright. This could be a great day for doing any sort of like presentations, or this could be, or even during like the sun hour can be a great time for you to really kind of shine your light there. And I like to think of when we're working with like the planetary days and hours, just to check in with your chart to see, what is your relationship with your sun placement? How is your sun? Where is it placed? Is it at? Does it have any beneficial aspect? Does it have any harsh aspects? What are there any current aspects that are going on with your sun? What's going on with that light, that main light of yours? And really just kind of checking in to see how you're doing. And this is going to be kind of a busy day because speaking of the sun is going to be entering into Libra. We got a couple planetary transits or transitions that the sun is going to be entering into Libra at about 5:44 a.m. and that's going to be Pacific time. And this is going to be an interesting one too, because the ruler of Libra, Venus, is also going to be making a move into Scorpio at about 7:36 p.m. So this is going to be an interesting kind of combination here because both planets the sun is entering into its fall and Venus is entering into her detriment. And so when you think about a planet in fall, I like to think of that, and I heard another astrologer put this way, and I agree with that. I like how he put it. When the planet is in fall, it's not that the planet, it has a tendency sometime to maybe fall into things that may not always set itself up for its best intention. Thanks, Spirit. So you have to really kind of work real closely with, I feel like, planets in fall, and then with planets in detriment too, because Venus being in Scorpio, she's from furthest away from one of her home signs of Taurus, and so she just has a harder time functioning here because Venus is how we magnetize, how we attract, and in Scorpio, she's able to pull a lot stronger than she's maybe more comfortable with, which can be a benefit, which if you're talking like joy and happiness and things, but if we're feeling a lot of maybe anxiety, things along those lines, we want to find some ways to help move that energy along. And I have another video on my other channel, Alchemist State, kind of going into those energies a bit more, so definitely check that out. But let's go ahead and get into the lunar shenanigans. Just wanted to put those ingresses on your radar there. And check into those parts because the sun is getting ready to light up the part of your house that has Libra in it, wherever house system you use. So definitely check that out to see what's going on in Libra and with Venus as well. Now, on the 22nd of September, the moon is going to be entering into Gemini at about 3:24 a.m. And she's going to be forming about 3 aspects with the traditional celestial bodies. And she's in a waning gibbous phase or disseminating moon phase. And now, one thing I like with Gemini energy is that they're the mutable air sign. Their ruler is Mercury, and with that, if you found yourself like really kind of stuck in a certain kind of mental frame, you've been maybe playing things like a certain narrative on a loop. Gemini can help you shake that up a little bit. Can help you see a different perspective. This would be a great time if you are feeling stuck with something. Maybe talking with a friend, maybe talking with a partner, talking with a therapist, a life coach, whatever that is, to kind of help you bring in, if you've been seeing just like one side of the story. Gemini is a twin, so they just help kind of balance things out a bit. And also, too, Gemini is really great for learning new things. Gemini can absorb information very quickly, very, very quickly. And so this could be a great time for doing some studying. This could be a great time for socializing. This can be really great for, I would say, you know what, while I'm thinking about that, I would say be mindful of just like, since we're in a lot of air energy with the sun, the moon, Jupiter, all being kind of in air signs, you want to be kind of mindful of maybe being overly stimulated during this time, especially with the moon and Big Papa being in Gemini. That's something I would just kind of pay attention to. But yeah, you may notice that you're just feeling a bit more chatty. You may notice that the collective is feeling a bit more just kind of socializing there. So work with that energy for sure. And then let's talk about the void of course here, and then we'll go ahead and get into the reading. Because on Mars Day, the 24th of September, from about 1:13 a.m. to about 7:50 a.m., so we're looking at about 6 hours and 37 minutes, the moon is going to be void of course. And that's when she forms her last aspect with a celestial body, and then she doesn't have any more energy to give. So this usually isn't a favorable time to start up anything new. This is a great time to kind of wrap things up. And I like to take the void of course, just to give you some practical examples. This could be a great time for just doing some meditation, for example, or maybe doing just some cleaning up around the house. Maybe there have been some tasks that you've been putting off. Maybe maybe you had some like paperwork that you're needing to get done. The moon and Gemini could support that, or during that void of course can kind of help you get that stuff in order. Now, one thing to kind of think about too, the final aspect that she forms is what kind of flavors that void of course. And keep in mind, I'm working with the traditional planets here when I'm talking about this. But the aspect that she's going to be forming is a square with Mercury. And now when you have squares, there can be this tension, this call to action. And I also like to think too with the void of course, this is a time to reflect on what happened during the time in while the moon was in Gemini. What were some things that you learned, some things that may have come up for you with that? And if there were some things like some kind of tensions and things that were coming up with there, what are some steps that you can do, or what are some steps that you need to do in order to move that forward? Let's say if you're maybe if you're having trouble with like some bills, for example, or maybe getting some accounting or stuff like that in order. Maybe finding someone who can give you the information for that, seeking something along those lines. I'm just throwing out some very general stuff here, but I do think that the void of course is great for just like during that 6 hours, if you can find just some quiet time to just kind of go within, see how you're doing, see what downloads came through you while the moon was in Gemini. I feel could be a very beneficial way of working with that. And if you're wanting to work with these energies more closely, more personally, I have a couple links down in the description box below. One's to sign up for my lunar group that I host every month, and we work over a 27-month basis, and we meet about 4 times during that period of time. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely check that down in the description box. If you have any questions about that or any of the other services that I provide, I have a link down there to book a free consultation with me, and we can discuss any things, like kind of talk about what you're looking for, what areas in life, and what would be the most appropriate service for you. So there's that for you. Now let's go ahead and switch over here. And then last thing before we get into this, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then before we get into this, I'm going to bring in some good vibes here. So let's go ahead, adjust your volume if you need to, but I'm going to ring this bell a couple times, and then we're going to get into this thing. Dope. All right. Let's go ahead and get into your general energy, which I'm with. You got the golden topaz and yellow rose card here, which is a card of abundance. And this is fire energy. And this is about raising your vibration, light missions, and Ra activations. And that's very fascinating. That Ra activation, that's that sun god energy. And with the, just even thinking about that with that sun entering into Libra during that period of time. This is the time where I find why the sun ends up in fall is because Libra is that cardinal air energy. And if we're not mindful of where we're speaking from, our words are powerful. Your words become things. And so this Ra activation, I feel, is looking at where are some pitfalls that you, maybe think about some mentalities that you normally find yourself getting stuck in. And I feel this Ra activation is finding different ways, working with this moon in Gemini and learning different ways to get into the state of abundance, to get into where you're raising your vibration more. Maybe this could be with the moon in Gemini. This is something where looking into different affirmations or looking into different like life coaches who do maybe motivational speeches or something along those lines. Even listening to some music that gets you feeling in this state of abundance. But this fire energy here is something is ready to activate within you. And I'm even feeling this light missions. I was even more so thinking about light emissions, like you radiating this bright light. And I feel like it's what activities and how can we speak more things that emit a lot more light than maybe we're getting up before? How do we crank that up even more so here? I'm even getting just paying attention to these kind of butterflies here, this transformation, that metamorphosis that can happen when you start focusing on things that raise your vibration. And this is something too, I feel it's going to take practice. It's going to take this repetition. There's this thing where they talk about with Gemini energies where it's Gemini likes to do things twice. And I don't think that's necessarily that they like to do things twice. It's just that it's when you have a number of ways to pull from or things to kind of understand from, it just kind of broadens it really helps solidify the information here. Let me get some tarot on this and get some details with this abundance energy here. So that definitely does give me kind of Empress vibes that's kind of coming through there. Even the Father of Coins is even sort of coming through with that. But yeah, let's see what's going on with this. Okay. Thanks, Spirit. Oh, we got a lot going on here. Wow. We're gonna talk about her because she's been a little aggressive. So you have the Mother of Knives, the Grandchildren card, which is a star card, the Garden card, which is the World card, that's Saturn and Aquarius energy. Then you have the Ace of Knives, the Eight of Knives, the Eight of Sticks, the Six of Sticks, and the Daughter of Coins. Now, I kind of chuckle with this Mother of Knives, because this is the third time she's came out. I was doing some pre-shuffles there, and while I was shuffling, she popped out twice, and it popped up almost in the same exact spot. The Mother of Knives is very perceptive. She's very analytical. She's very sharp. And she's doing this bibliomancy. The Bible is her tool. And I just think about how powerful, again, the words can be. Pay attention to, I'm getting this energy of inviting new literature into your world, whether this be actual physical books or maybe looking into different things online, paying attention to the information that is flowing through you and the conversations that are kind of playing in your head on a regular basis. Are they doing things that are bringing hope? Are they things that are bringing healing? Or what is that? There's this Eight of Knives here where we're feeling maybe stuck, possibly. And if you're noticing that you've been maybe caught in your head. This is this is Jupiter in Gemini, the Eight of Knives. And if you're noticing that you've maybe been overwhelmed with maybe some sort of like anxiety, not sure which way to go here, this Moon in Gemini energy is giving me just this information, or this ability to kind of cut through that kind of fixed Aquarius energy. That's what I was thinking about. Like when we're thinking of the air signs, Libra initiates the thought, Aquarius holds the thought, and Gemini changes the thought. And I feel like this Ace of Knives is even reminding that just as things began, you can end things too. Maybe there's a certain conversation that you tend to get in with someone, and it always, or I don't want to say it always, but pay attention to that. If you've noticed that, like, every time I talk with this person, it always tends to do this, it always tends to do that, then let's not talk with that person anymore. Let's give that person some space, and that's going to benefit from the both of you. And I feel with that, this eight of sticks, things will start changing faster than you realize. But I feel like we're getting some messages here with the Eight of Sticks as well. If you've been noticing that, again, pay attention to what thoughts are kind of coming through. Some things that, because there seems like there's some strong messages here that you can begin anew with the grandchildren's card here, but we have to take that initiative. We have to stick through with that plan here, with the Daughter of Coins being here. The daughters are the knights in this deck. And the Six of Sticks. The Six of Sticks is about this guy is riding in on his horse, and he's coming back from this journey. Now all these people are here to celebrate in his return, and I'm just wondering if there's something here with how you're feeling in your community, possibly, as far as has there been a lot of talk of like celebration, or how's the conversation just in your day-to-day kind of look like? And just pay attention to how that could potentially, and I feel like it's not by any fault of anyone's, like, it doesn't feel like it's an intentional thing here, but just something seems like it's keeping, it's like keeping you in a rut, possibly. It's like if you hear enough things and you speak enough things, then it becomes, you stagnate in. Let me get a little bit more on this eight of knives before we move on here, because something's affecting the vibration in all of this, and that World card is wanting to end this. This Eight of Baskets is ready to walk away from it. It's tired of feeling like that. Let me get the other clarifier from this. Okay. Thanks, Spirit. So the Eight of Knives is clarified by, like I was saying, the Eight of Baskets, the Daughter of Knives, and then Miss Ida, which is the Moon card here, our lovely ruler. And this is giving me a time to just kind of be quiet with yourself, to kind of drown out the noise a little bit. I'm even getting a message of like putting on maybe some ambient music and just kind of meditate, maybe even doing some kind of journaling. Gemini energy is really great for that, just to see what the narrative has been going on. Because look at the Daughter of Knives. She's got, if you can see all these hands, she's a really great medium, really great channeler, but there's a lot of information that are coming, a lot of energies that are trying to get her attention. And I feel like it's how do you stay focused even though all these outside influence are trying to get your attention? How do you just focus on the channel that you want to? And there's just this Eight of Baskets. There may be a need to walk away from something, to kind of leave something, to put some distance, or to really kind of enforce a boundary, possibly. You may be expecting someone to, you may have set a tone like, hey, I really appreciate if you didn't do this. But if a person keeps doing the same thing, then we need to take different actions. And then it's like, well, no, you can't come here. No, you can't. No, I'm not going to engage this. That's something else that's coming through. Trust. Any sort of intuitive messages, I mean, always, that are coming through there for you. Let's get some more on this. Oh, there's hubby. Interesting. But look at that. Thanks, Spirit. We have the good old sun. Oh, we got a lot of majors here. We got the lovely sun, Big Mama. You got Dr. Grant, which is the Hermit, the Father of Knives, and then the Son of Baskets here. And Big Mama's she's bringing clarity. She's bringing light. She's not going to fall into that, even though that sun's in Libra. The sun is not going to get in this place where it's just initiating, I feel like, thoughtlessly. It's like it's coming, especially with the Father of Knives being here and the Mother of Knives setting the tone. This is like, I'm getting like a no BS energy kind of coming through here. You've exchanged away in the past. You may have shared energies. People may have expected you to show up a certain type of way. And now it's like, now you're ready to do something different. It feels it's like maybe there's a time to kind of focus more on you and what you need to, the things that you need to, kind of almost like how Dr. Grant's kind of, it's like keeping his head low. It's not like avoiding, but it's just like, it's interesting. I'm almost getting like not necessarily telling people, not making this grand declaration that you're doing this thing. It's just doing the thing. Instead of like, oh, I'm done talking with you. Just be done. We don't need to keep engaging something. That's just one thing that's just kind of coming through here. I feel with this too, the Six of Baskets to Big Mama to Dr. Grant. I feel that those, when you're focusing on raising your vibration, you're activating that sunlight within you. I feel the people that will really enjoy that or that will gravitate towards that will just kind of come through naturally, kind of fill in the spaces of maybe some people who weren't, maybe they were they were they were an integral part maybe of one chapter of your life, but now we're in something new is happening here. You're getting fired up. You're in this new state of growth, and you have a light mission that is coming through. And again, maybe looking at your sun placement again, and how do you understand your sun placement? How do you understand your light mission? And then what are something with the moon having kind of shown through, kind of popped through here? How do you nurture that light mission? How does that translate through the body? How do you intuit the messages that you're getting from getting from spirit? Very interesting. Let's get some advice from Mercury. But I do believe that with the Sun and Venus moving to the positions that they are, and just with Venus being where she's at just for a little while, you really want to pay attention to it, especially for harboring any intense feelings towards others. Because you got, you said the Ace of Knives, Mother and Father of Knives. You want to make sure that we're thinking clearly here, because otherwise I feel like it's just going to, it can be a recipe to stay in a loop. It feels like here, but yeah, let's get some advice from Mercury. And I'm even getting to, that's interesting. Was just thinking with the grandchildren. If you've not been feeling abundance, You know, why is that? Why do you feel, and this is not me coming at you, but it's more so like, what is it that miracles, yeah, I find sometimes we're like, well, everything's happened to everyone else. How come they never happened to me? And I think it's because it's like we're focusing on other people's miracles, I think. And it's like, it's time to just focus on speaking abundance here, not coveting what other people have. It's appreciating the things that you have and the gifts and that's what I mean by things, not necessarily material stuff. The gifts that you have, that innate sunlight that you're bringing. No one can do you better than you. Thanks, Spirit. Ooh, and what a way. I like that. That's very encouraging. So you have the inspiration and courage card here. And let's switch back over. Because I feel this abundance with this card, this is a time to get inspired, to do some things, speak higher vibrations into your world. And maybe even if it's available, if you happen to be able to get out in some sunlight and just kind of allow that. I just kind of see you kind of sitting on a bench and you're just kind of taking in the rays for a minute. And just like, man, what a blessing this is to think about all this oxygen that I have. You know, I think about when it's like raining outside and you know, sometimes people are just like, oh, rain. I think, my gosh, that's a miracle. I mean, water just falling from the sky. I mean, but I know that may seem simplistic, but it raises the vibration through the roof. You can take a rainy day and turn it into something beautiful. You know, it just depends on what's going on. Even a cloudy day, maybe it's just been feeling like you've been getting a lot of sun. Sometimes it's nice to have the clouds so that you can focus on the greenery and things. That's what I really enjoy about Washington, even though it can sometimes be a bit overcast. Against that overcast, you'll have these just like real stark greens and, you know, just all the flowers and that there's all this verdure that's going on around here. But I feel too, it's like when you start focusing on these things, then you just become an inspiration. You inspire, you almost like, it's like I'm getting this energy of like you almost like have this ability to like eat. Think about how a smile, sometimes when you go to smile at someone, how you can't sometimes help but spread that up, like kind of help light up the room. I notice when I have a lot. Well, Jupiter is on my ascendant, so I tend to have like a really big personality. So I'm thinking about like all the times that I've kind of talked with people and things, and when they're in my presence, I want them to leave just as big and been feeling just as big as I've been feeling. So, and when you see that just genuinely come onto their face, it does something about that. I'm just looking how she's just touched. She's just touched by the good vibes that she's spreading, and she's not doing it expecting anything. She already got what she wanted back. If she didn't do that just to feel good, she did that to. It's like you're spreading the light around. It keeps the raw activations going. It gets the gift that keeps on giving. That's fascinating. I think I'm going to leave that there. There's a lot to think about with that. Excuse me. But if you like that, and if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. Share this if you know somebody who would resonate with this. And then subscribe there. Subscribe there, Big Mama. Hit that bell button to get notified on all these. I feel like I've called you that a couple times. Subscribe there, Dr. Grant. Yeah, hit that bell button. And then last little thing. If you want to know what's going on, like I was saying earlier, if you wanted to keep track of the weekly celestial chit-chat that's going on in the sky, or if you want to do, I also do on my other channel, Alchemist 8, I also do different planetary placements in different signs and different houses. So that's something you're interested in. You want to check out your placement. There's no real order that I'm doing it. I have these 12-sided dice, so I'm just rolling them and seeing what's coming out. And we're talking about them. So that's available for you. And all that housekeeping, it's down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here. Oh, so I can get you out of here. Oh, all right. Thanks, Spirit. So you have the Angel's Trumpet card here, which is a card of death. And this is Pluto and Mars energy. And this is definitely giving me the death card vibes. but in the thing that something is changing, that something, the energy is ready to transmute into something different, especially if we've been in a maybe operating in a lower vibration, or have been maybe entertaining more kind of lower vibrations. The thoughts are going to do what they're going to do, but how we respond to that is what matters. What we speak into ourselves, the actions that we take, that's what matters here. I'm looking at this bat, and even the bat's kind of in hermit mode here right now. And bats have really great hearing. And I'm just thinking that there's something here about just like not echoing, because you know how the bats do, what do they have, it's like that echo, whatever that's called, whatever bats do when they're flying in the night. I feel like it's being aware of what we're echoing. That's something too. Life and death in the power of the tongue. Thoughts are powerful, and with Gemini, the thoughts can be quick. Gemini can be glib. I have a Gemini, like I said, I have a Gemini Moon, so I'm quite aware of what that looks like. And if you're throwing acid around, it'll come right back at you. But the lovely thing I find with Gemini is that just as quickly as it came, you can change that around. So that's something I feel like this is like heralding a new chapter, new energy, new fresh light codes that are coming through here. And it may feel uncomfortable. There may be some deaths that end up happening, some changes, some things. World card, that garden. Sometimes in the garden, you got to trim the weeds if they're choking the plants. But even those weeds, we could turn that stuff, well, maybe we can turn that stuff into mulch. But you get where I'm going with this. I have faith in that. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. I think that's all I got for you. So until next time, keep raising that consciousness. Keep eyes on the moon. Is a vibration to the roof. Abundance. And I'll catch you on the next one. Mars Day.